One of the ones that I know does something, at least, is if I type in Dorito.
Can't quite hear what it's saying.
Oh! No! I was jump scared. Hey guys, and welcome to GTLive, where today it's all about Bill.
It's a special day.
It's a
highly requested day.
I feel like every day this week has been a special day of GTLive, but this one is especially special.
Indeed.
Because, like Lee said, it is a specially requested day. Why is it specially requested, Lee?
Well, you see, every time I have opened any of the YouTube comment section, the subreddit, I walk outside, I go to the grocery store.
Wow.
Somebody is like, win Book of Bill.
Win Bill, though.
It's basically been like the Bill Nye the Science Guy intro here, which is just Bill. Topical reference.
Bill. Oh my gosh.
Science. Yeah.
Can I say that it was one of my childhood goals to grow up to become Bill Nye the Science Guy?
That completely tracks.
Not surprising in the slightest.
I would say you succeeded, my friend.
Thank you. I met him, though. Not like one-to-one, but I was in a small group experience with Bill Nye the Science Guy. That sounds strange.
We were on a Disney ride together.
Yeah. No, it was at the premiere of his documentary or his life
cool.
story kind of thing. Kind of old and grumpy, which makes me kind of sad.
Out.
Yeah, it checks out, but it was one of those don't meet your hero kind of things.
Yeah.
I like the vibe of goofy science man on PBS as opposed to the real life, maybe less enthusiastic science man in real life. So anyway, Fun fact: we're solving the Book of Bill today, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed.
Well, maybe solving might be extreme.
We are going to be perusing the Book of Bill on this day.
A nice jaunt through the pages of the Book of Bill. For those of you who don't know, Gravity Falls, beloved franchise to so many theorists, really brought theoristing to a mainstream Disney audience in a lot of ways, where it was just synonymous with ARGs, ciphers and codes and mysteries just built into the show in a way that no other show really did up to that point, and no other show has really done since, to be honest. It is a few and far-flung show that starts every episode with backwards spoken text in the intro and ends every episode with a cipher code at the end of the credits, and it's new every single time.
Isn't there a frame perfect thing in the opening credits where you have to pause? And this was back in the day before streaming, guys.
Yeah,
where you had to get your disposable camera ready to take a picture.
Yeah, I don't know how you did it before you were able to just go frame by frame
and pause. Yeah, dark times.
Yeah, this was you just fast forward and stop. No, I missed it. Rewind.
Yeah, I gotta go back on my TiVo.
Fast forward and stop. Oh, I missed it again. So Gravity Falls was so ahead of its time, and the creator Alex Hirsch was just thinking in ways that are so innovative and to this day are so pioneering of where we are as a society in a lot of ways, which is really, really cool.
Very forward-thinking, series and person in general, pretty much defined what I think a modern successful animated show could be.
Yeah,
right? And it was kind of at the head of the pack of those, the Adventure Times and the Steven Universes, and just what an incredible show.
It's also one that, again, went out in its prime in a lot of cases. With animated stuff, it either gets canceled prematurely, which is always sad, or, if it's successful, it just gets milked to
we're season 35
right.
of a certain yellow...
yellow family. Yeah, and it's one of those things that just gets milked to infinity and just goes on and on long past its prime. And so Gravity Falls had, a couple short seasons, and it was, the perfect story. It had a great arc. The characters and the relationships and their evolution were really fantastic. And it went away... And like anything that goes away, not prematurely, but that is beloved when it goes away, it's I want more of that, right? And Gravity Falls is one of those things that hasn't been rebooted. There hasn't been a whole lot that's been released since then until today. And by today, I mean a couple weeks ago. And I know it's a couple weeks ago by the sheer volume of social content that we've gotten requesting to do something like this.
I do think it's funny that, 5 people in the office independently had bought copies that got here on the same day, and we come into the office and I have mine, and Steph has hers, and you have yours, and Josiah has funny time.
Did Josiah buy a book of Bill?
I just pulled someone's name out of a hat.
Because if Josiah bought a book of Bill, that would make him even more of the goat than he already is.
Truth.
Ash, have you bought your book of Bill?
I have not, because I really relied on the fact that 4 copies would be arriving at the office. And I was like, I'm going to save the $20, actually.
Understandable.
Save some trees and the $20.
Exactly. It's what Bill would have wanted.
Is that what Bill would have wanted?
In my mind,
I feel like Bill would want to ruin as many trees as possible. Anyway, the long and short of it is Gravity Falls is back in big fashion. The Book of Bill is this major release from the Gravity Falls universe. Gravity Falls in the aftermath of the show released Journal number 3, which was a big prop from the series that contained a lot of the mysterious lore elements of that world, right? They released it as a physical copy. It was basically the predecessor to the lore logbook, the instruction manual for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, it was very proto, like the Mob Bestiary. Like,
Yes.
it was the first of that sort of thing.
Yeah,
right?
Again, it was really setting the trend of a lot of this stuff. And so for people who might not be familiar with Gravity Falls or Journal number 3, it was the instructional logbook for Five Nights at Freddy's that we've gone back to time and time again to solve the lore of that one, right? In a slightly different way, but very similar. And so when they announced that the Book of Bill was coming out, which is a similar sort of journal with mysteries and codes hidden inside of it, as well as a bunch of lore mixed in, fan base went crazy. It's finally something for us to dive into, something for us to solve, and there's a lot to it, right?
Yeah, this book is dense, having leafed through it, and like, there's like chapters of another book in here.
Yeah.
There's like hints at what happens after the series. There's backstory. There's multiversal connotations.
Yeah.
There's so much in this book.
And so, since you guys have been requesting it, and since we have all independently been like tackling our own chunks of it in our own different ways, right? I think today the goal, like you called out, is to peruse this book and share some of the cool findings that we've all independently seen, because I don't think any of us have truly gone over the exact same pages. So that way, you know what's going on, we have a better sense of what's going on, and so then we can retreat back into our hidey holes, continue to do research, and continue to solve it. I am also a part of the ARG that's associated with this in some capacity. So
Yeah, you are Gravity Falls canon, which is weird to say.
Yeah.
And that also means, by extension, Ash, you and I are also Gravity Falls canon.
Whoa.
Ash is wearing yellow today.
I
Whoa.
am. I know. I needed to channel the Bill.
Ash is also only wearing one eyeball today, which is strange.
But
It's been weird to adjust to, not gonna lie.
Did you poke yourself, or what's going on over there?
Yeah, I just thought, hey, we have this on the calendar today. It might be fun to get into character. And, the top hat kind of bit the dust at VidCon
gonna
from that
say,
challenge.
Tom stole that, actually.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he put it in his suitcase, I saw.
He's dapper all the time now.
Oh man, that's a crusty hat for Tom. I feel like that's a choice to make. I won't knock it though.
Ash
yeah.
also has a bow tie on. It's very strange. Ash is serving
Oh wait, where did the bow tie come from?
a Bill Cipher. They're all Bill Cipher.
Did you shake hands with any strange shapes earlier?
Oh, okay.
You thought it was just...
I was wondering what that polygon was.
Yeah. You can't trust every polygon you come across.
Certainly not.
So anyway, that's the long story short of today, is we are here to do Book of Bill stuff and dive through this thing and kind of figure out what some of the mysteries might be, or what some of the lore reveals might be.
Let me say, I have been looking forward to this for a really long time.
Yeah.
Our schedules have been very hectic lately, so Ash and I have been trying to figure out, hey, when can all three of us get on the couch together for this?
Well, you just got back internationally.
Yeah, that was the big problem. I took my first trip out of North America. I've been to Canada before.
Congratulations.
But
That's huge.
Thank you. Yeah, it was incredible. It was for a project with a bunch of other YouTubers. I'm very excited. You will see it eventually. And we went to Northern Ireland.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we flew into Dublin, and we drove up to Northern Ireland. Shout-outs to Constantine.
Shout out Constantine. That's our guy.
Is that your driver?
Yeah,
Yes.
So Ash and I arrived at different times, and we both had the same cab driver
Wow.
up to Belfast, and then he was also the guy who took us back down to Dublin.
Oh man, so he is the only driver.
Yeah. But
Incredible.
But speaking of driving, I've been saving the story because I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
While we were us and a bunch of other great nerdy channels from around YouTube are together for the secret project, and they're busing us out to a place in the Northern Ireland countryside.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of nerds on a bus, basically.
Sure.
going through the middle of nowhere, and our bus driver gets lost.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Is it that complicated to get...
Apparently.
Wait, was this Constantine?
No, this was not Constantine.
Constantine
he would
was
never
the goat.
do this.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, is this... I mean, we got to have words with Constantine if this is the case.
Constantine got a good review.
Okay. Okay, 5-star.
10.
Well,
It was a 10. Anyway.
10 stars. That's so many more stars.
So our bus driver on this, like, I'm talking, there were like 40 people, 40 nerds on this bus.
Yeah.
The delineation.
And everyone like popping out their like GPS units or like radars.
Pretty much, but you know, like you're on international data and you don't want to get roaming fees. So you're like, oh God, what's happening? So our bus driver stops and asks a local farmer for directions. And the guy's like, oh yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
So we got directions to the place, you know where it was.
I do know
where we were going from, like a random sheep farmer on the side of the road.
And had it not been for the random sheep farmer, we would have
been lost forever.
It was awesome. He was like, yeah, we a bit lost.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you a bit lost, aren't you?
Really?
That was awful. I apologize to the entire nation of Ireland. But so good time.
Wow.
Love, and genuinely, even in the moment, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is going to be an amazing story for the rest of my life.
That's wild. Back to the Book of Bill. So I think just to get things started, probably to level set, we should go through the first couple of pages just so everyone's on the same page. And then from there, we can kind of hop forward into like spot checking different parts of the book. Yes?
Yeah, I think that is a good idea.
And true story, one of the things that I've been doing, so this is a more mature book than a lot of other Gravity Falls things because this world has matured up with the audience who grew up watching the show.
It's great to see. Like that's the way an IP should treat its audience.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
That being said, some of the newer audience members, like in my case, Ollie, who is a big fan of this and was super hyped about this, I am selectively reading large chunks of this book because there's a lot of existential dread and true facts about life that maybe his mind shouldn't be exposed to just yet. So I've been engaging with this book in a very fun and interestingly challenging way as I kind of summarize swaths of information for a 6-year-old's brain to process. So it'll be fun to kind of revisit this. All right, here we go. At first, I thought it was a joke, but oh man, this is very bright.
Here,
sorry, use the book for cross-reference. The scanning process for this book was miserable. So you'll see a few shots of my thumbs in there as well.
Yeah.
My phone is marking a page. Just
here we go. There it is. At first, I thought it was a joke, just a silly song he sang to taunt me while I was shackled in his penthouse at the end of the world. After seeing his mind shattered, his body petrified, and his chaos reversed, I knew he must be gone from this reality. And yet, some mornings, I wake up with a tune stuck in my head, and I curse when I realize that I'm whistling, "We'll meet again." The question continues to nag at me like a thistle in my sock. Is Bill Cipher really dead?
That one's bolded and underlined.
That's how you emphasize the thesis of a book, ladies and gentlemen.
And in a different font.
Yeah, that is very clear. This is the question that you are meant to solve in this book, right? And to be honest, like that is the question that we were left with at the end of Gravity Falls, right? Bill Cipher, as he's basically being melted down inside of Stanley Pines' brain, he recites this incantation backwards, and if you reverse the audio of the thing, it's basically him saying like, "I'll be reborn in another life."
He's like reaching out to the great axolotl.
Yes.
And yeah, a thing about these pages that I found very interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the actual book itself, they are just printed onto the page, but in the fantasy of it, you would say, there are ripped out pages that have been taped in. Because this is not Bill writing. It's Stanford writing this, right? So what is happening here is it's like, okay, this is me giving the audience a warning about this in a way that Bill can't change.
Yep.
Because if it was like Bill's book, he could just change it. But it is not.
That's actually a really smart call out that I hadn't thought through. But yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, this is coming from Stanford. It's in the style of the original Journal 3, which was primarily Stanford's novel, the guy who's exploring all the weirdness that's happening in Gravity Falls, the one who basically inadvertently allows Bill into our dimension and unleashes his evil upon the world and then goes on a quest to try and defeat him.
There's actually a whole section of this later. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to it today, but there's a whole section here that's the missing pages from Journal 3.
Yes.
Yeah, which is so cool.
But also, I have not gotten to that section. So if you know anything from there, let me know. But one of the other interesting lore bits of this, right, is one, it calls out the fact that the memory gun is impermanent, which is something that we had called out in our first theory about Gravity Falls years and years and years ago, which was, hey, at the end of Gravity Falls, spoiler alert, but you're watching this, so you probably know already, at the end of Gravity Falls, Grunkle Stan has his memory erased, right? They use the memory gun. They basically trick Bill into going into his brain. They use the memory gun to erase Bill from this existence, and in the process, Stan loses his memories. However, less than 2 minutes later in the show, he gains his memories back.
You gotta love the classic Disney, we're gonna reverse all of the consequences.
Wait, you want stakes in your stories? Get out of here. And so immediately the book comes out with this idea of like, hey, was the memory gun impermanent? Are you able to recover things? So what I appreciate here is that it immediately starts off with that exact thesis of like, hey, if the memory gun was impermanent, like we were calling out, was Bill actually defeated? He uses this incantation, Stan gets his memories back. Bill, again, the thesis, is Bill Cipher actually dead, or is he still kicking around in this universe somewhere? And I feel like all the puzzles and energies and things that this book is opening up to is trying to solve that question.
We've been doing a lot of work as a company, right? Like figuring out good hooks and good theses for like the beginning like minutes of a video, right?
Yep.
It's like, oh, this is good. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
No, they absolutely know. And so they call out that this is able to infect other books, which I think is a really interesting lore detail and something that they use in their marketing.
Yeah, I was just about to bring up the TikTok marketing where it's like they hold up the book to another book and like venom tentacles come out.
Yeah.
And like, it basically doing what's happening in that art, right?
Yeah.
So cool. It's
legitimately a great idea. So this is Lee's book that was scanned in. This book's new master. You have not signed your name.
I have not. I have already sold my soul to.
Wait, who did you sell your soul to?
Lunar X.
Oh.
I thought he was going to say that he met a weird polygon or something.
Nope. No parent company, Lunar X. That's great.
But also, actually, I am the sort of book owner who, like, I'm never, ever writing anything in a book.
Yeah. So this book's new master is still masterless.
Yeah.
To summon, place your right hand on the page, clear your mind, repeat the words, time to get weird. Also, you'll notice as we scan through these pages and just quickly skim over stuff, there's codes everywhere. Like literally everywhere. And granted, the original Journal 3 had a lot of codes all throughout the book, but this one, I mean, takes it and cranks it up to 11 at this point, which is wild. There's your handprint if you do sign on, at which point then you have the pages of Bill being summoned back into being, which is really cool.
You fool!
Yep. Him actually bursting through the pages, and I love this effect that they play with the meta-ness of this being an actual book, right? So anyway, Bill gets summoned back, I'm here again at last. I've been waiting an eternity to meet you. I know you've been waiting nearly as long to meet me. Welcome to the afterlife. We're getting warned. He crosses through. It's very cool. It's awesome.
Also, just what a great...
Oh, Bill?
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
I am such a big fan of kind of creepypasta, SCP, that sort of like cryptids in general.
Yeah, I will say every time I see his eyeball in this picture, he reminds me of a lemon.
It does look like a lemon.
It's a very lemon forward.
I have a very, very obscure reference that no one in the audience will get. But
what's that?
This looks like the Eye of N'Zoth, like a demon from World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
N'Zoth.
clearly, N'Zoth.
He is serving some real N'Zoth. Wow. When I look at that lemon eye, first thing I come to is...
Yeah, N'Zoth, clearly.
Yes, absolutely.
To the 1.8 of you that got that.
I like that it's a 0.8 specifically.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's amazing.
Moving on.
Yes, moving on. This starts as a very light choose your own adventure, and when I say really light, I mean really light, because the first time that Ollie and I are reading through this, we're up to page, I think, like 55, me reading every single page, like full on out. So I know the beginning chunks of the book. You've been popping around. So we'll jump to those stuff. But the one thing that both he and I agreed on was to turn to no first, because we're like, we know better. We're not doing this to Bill. or we're not doing this to ourselves in the universe, so we jumped to page 77, and I do want to call this out because I think it's fun. I was expecting it to be a little bit more choose your own adventure-y, but alas, it was not to be, and also the page numbers don't line up. It's on the silly string. But basically, it ends your alternative thing very quickly. It says, if you don't shake Bill's hand, here's what you get. Well, kid, you blew it. They say better safe than sorry, but somehow you managed to be both. This is the opening minutes of me reading a book to my child. Well, kid, you blew it. Again, heavily censored for his own benefit. I see a vision of your future. Your aversion to risk will cause you to get a job as a middle manager at a mustard factory in Lewiston, Idaho. You'll marry someone of moderate attractiveness, and you'll have 4 bland children whose names you'll frequently forget. Gervis, Horvin, Borley, and Smunt. And you'll...
I love Smunt.
Right.
Wasn't that the name of your D&D character?
Oh gosh.
Gunch. It was Gunch.
Yeah, it was Gunchin time.
Justice for Smunt, I say. Yeah. You'll spend the rest of your life slowly being suffocated by silent desperation, your hopes and dreams becoming fainter, foggier, harder to remember with each passing day, until one day you're raking the leaves outside your gray house, you'll see a yellow triangular yield sign, and the shape will cause you some distant part of you to remember that you could have been more. As your mind flickers with its last dim spark of hope, you won't hear the truck coming. The guy writing your obituary will be so bored that it'll fall asleep on the keyboard, and it'll just read, the life of Tooth, and no one will notice that typo. The end.
So what did you tell Ollie?
So I, gave some broad strokes over that one and said, like, we chose the boring option. Oh, we can't believe you guys are such losers. Oh, come again next time. Oh, try again on the beginning page. Like, basically, I summarized broad strokes.
No Smunt, though, sadly.
No, I did read Smunt.
Oh, great.
I did say you'll name your kids something weird, like Grog or Smunt or whatever. And he's like, Smunt. So Ash's comedic sensibilities align nicely with Ollie's 6-year-old comedic sensibilities.
It's an honor.
To be fair, though, and if you say yes, you then enter into, like, Bill is now entered into the world, this and that. I say Ollie's 6-year-old sensibilities as a comedian. Ollie is also a heavy theorist at this point.
That's great.
He has read the original journal number 3, page to page for the most part, or we've read it together, and he called out something, and I'm going to call this out right now, because this was one of the things that I did not realize was connected, but he did. Throughout the book, one of the underlying threads that you get is, and shout outs to this incredible...
I love it. Yeah, well, we should come back to this.
Yes.
But yeah.
We'll come back.
Finish your story.
But throughout the book, one of the underlying threads is Bill Cipher's, like, ex-girlfriends, or, like, has he had relationships? What's his viewpoint on love? Things like that, right? And here we got the reference of the one question everyone's talking about, are you dead? Yes, no. So again, forwarding the question of, like, is he dead? Is he still existing? All that stuff. Is it true that you once dated a howling void? Just because I got coffee with a howling void
how
one
many times am I going to have to hear that one?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's one. But then down in the section about his powers.
I love the Chernabog.
Oh, yeah, right.
From Fantasia. This is a reference to Fantasia or Kingdom Hearts.
Right. Bonus points if you name all the thousands of references that are in this thing. Absolutely. But he goes through his powers. He then goes through his weaknesses. But then we read Great Gatsby here in a minute, which is a lot. Stanford comes back in for a minute, talking about the human body and what the human body is, and it's just a sack of meat. Then one day you'll die and your senses are alive. I'm like, broad strokes, Ollie, broad strokes.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Yeah,
love is a chemically induced hypnosis that the human body uses to trick people into not eating each other, just long enough that they can procreate.
Again, baby, don't hurt me no more.
Me reading a foreword and summarizing it a lot. But here you have this. Have you ever been in love? Bill, have you ever been in love? Sure, tell your mom hi for me. By the way, have you ever taken a DNA test recently? Not asking for any particular reason. Seriously, have you? Asking me if I've been in love is like asking a black hole if it liked your mixtape. But you got to be crushing on someone. I will light this book on fire. Methinks you doth protest too much. And he keeps avoiding it, right? He keeps avoiding it over and over again. Even down here, there's a section of my exes. He crosses it out, and it's not relevant. I don't have any. Remember, pal, at the end of the day, love is just the pupa stage for hate.
Methinks he doth protest too.
Right?
Indeed.
And so later in the book, I think it's right after Urban Legend. There he is, the Henchmaniacs. So you then jump forward into the Henchmaniacs, right? And you meet the crew. Ollie,
the Friends reference.
yes, another Friends reference.
Yeah, sorry.
Right? No, totally. And Ollie obviously wanted to jump forward to this page because he recognizes all these characters from the finale. He thinks that they're really fun from Weird Mageddon at the end. But of them, you get this one that's scratched out, right? And you can kind of make out like the word figured. You can make out the phrase too many eyes. She has too many eyes anyway, not important. Ollie recognized the phrase too many eyes, and in journal number 3, there's like 2 pages where Stanford falls through the end of the universe and meets someone named the Oracle, and it's a creature with 7 eyes and a hood, and it says that she has too many eyes, and he's like, oh, that's the Oracle, the one that's associated with like the cult of the axolotl and this and that. And so Ollie, first official theory, such a proud theorist, first official theory that I didn't realize, he's like, oh, that means that Bill Cipher's ex-girlfriend, the one that he keeps avoiding and scratching out all information about, is the Oracle from...
That's a good short.
Yeah, right. From the... I don't know. Here's the thing. It might be explicitly said elsewhere in the book here somewhere, but he was able to cross-reference journal number 3 and Book of Bill to say, like, this is the character that keeps being kind of, like, censored out of this book.
If you see this come up as a short, this was an Ollie original.
Yeah.
And I'm proud.
Right.
That's awesome.
I'm proud of him, too.
Were you in the call? I'm sorry to completely derail. Were you in the call where we were talking about the Friends theme song at some point?
No.
And there was some disagreement over like how many claps there were?
Wait.
Oh my god.
Do you remember that? Were you there?
God. I think I might have been there.
Da, da, da.
No one told me life was gonna be this way.
Hold up. How many did you clap?
4.
No one told me that it's gonna be this way. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 4.
It's
Okay,
4.
cool.
Good.
Somebody, I forget who in the call said 3, but we were all like, you were wrong.
It was probably Sandy.
Santi!
Sandy every time. It's like, no, guys. It's like there are very easy ways to check that too. By the way, like
Yeah, you'd go listen to
literally.
Well, the best part is that the discourse is it between 4 and 5. So the fact that Santi was like, nah, there's 3 is like...
Watch this not have been Santi, and we're just dragging him for
Who
no
would be
reason.
5? That's ridiculous. Whoever said 5.
That's redonkulous.
That's just a troll, whoever's doing that one.
Sorry to completely derail, but
So
it
anyway,
was important to me.
So shout outs to Ollie for recognizing that that the axolotl priestess basically is Bill's ex-girlfriend. I think that's really cool. You wanted to talk about the parallel dimensions.
Yeah. So
I happened to stumble across this page, and I know you called that one out.
So it feels like in like modern entertainment pop culture, we cannot escape the concept of the multiverse. It's freaking everywhere.
It's true. It's everywhere.
And again, they're bringing in the multiverse here with Gravity Falls. So basically what this section is explaining is that like, hey, did you watch Gravity Falls and think, man, these kids should have died so many times over,
sure.
Right? It's because they did over and over and over again, and we are like basically seeing the one timeline where they did not die.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Right?
Okay,
and
I haven't
like,
gotten to this point.
Like you go like right past this page, and this is like every time they like have died.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. I love that art, by the way. That's amazing.
It's so cool. And like
I do want to call out before we scroll too far away from it. Theorist logo much? Just calling it. We got green. We got yellow.
No red though. That's GTLive.
That's
very GTLive.
It's Urple adjacent.
Yeah.
adjacent.
Reddish Urple.
Yeah,
it's because we're collabing, Ash.
It's because we're collabing.
Yeah.
If you put them together, it leans more towards the pinkish than like the Urple. Also, there's red written in the word parallel.
See,
there you
right
go.
above there.
There you
There
go.
it is.
So it's just because they combined.
That's it.
Powerful.
Grimbles is dead. It had to happen. Trust me, we were doing the guy a favor. Once you get one book elf, soon there's more eating all your commas and drinking your page gloss. If it makes you feel any better, there's a dimension where he's still alive and well. I am one of the few gifted with the ability to see into these other worlds.
Across the Cipherverse.
The Cipherverse. There's a world where every typo you make comes true. A lot of ducks in that dimension. Wow. And again, it's one of those things where this book came with a warning of like for older audiences. Jokes like that show you why there is a world where I'm square. We don't talk about that world. A terrifying chibi-verse where everyone's arms and legs have been sanded down to nubs. And I can see worlds where the Pines family lost. That's cool.
Dun.
Look at them, these two plucky little protagonists, happily ever aftering without a care in their oversized heads. They don't consider for a single moment the sheer improbability that they got to exist in the one dimension where they kept all their body organs, out of the infinite timelines where they were erased, shattered, drowned, frozen, or dismembered before they could make it to 13.
Basically, we're in the one dimension with Doctor Strange, where he's like, how many did you win? One.
Yeah.
This one.
That's cool.
Like, yeah, it's such a cool concept, and like, I don't know if it'll ever be explored outside of this book, even. Yeah. But just the art on this page, where you see all these different versions of these characters.
Right.
Like, got Video Game Dipper and Cult Dipper.
Oh, yeah. No, and they are showing off things. Like, I know that this is the one from when they're at the Northwest Family Mansion, and Dipper gets turned into wood. And again, that's one of those times where just by the luck of Pacifica deciding to turn on her family, he is brought back to life, right? You have the Society of the Forbidden Eye and stuff. Maybe one day in the future, all their good luck will finally... There you go. The teeny ones, the mini versions of them, which is fantastic. Meanwhile, there's Urban Legends, which is super fun.
Slenderman.
For all of the analog horror fans.
There are so many... I really appreciate this. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
So for the people who don't know, Guillermo del Toro is a famous horror movie director. He did movies like Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water, and noted horror classic Pacific Rim.
Did he do Crimson Peak as well?
He did.
I thought so.
He did do Crimson Peak.
Yeah. No one cares about that one.
He almost did The Hobbit. Fun fact.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was really close to doing The Hobbit, and that was in development hell for a long time, and he ended up leaving, and then Peter Jackson stepped up. But like, great, I love it. That was a reference for me and me alone.
Oh no, I appreciate Guillermo del Toro. So I thought that was a good one. Also, these remind me a lot of the film theory that you and I did.
Yeah, with the Dr. Nowhere stuff, right? The Oddity Compendium.
Yeah, I look at some of these and I'm like, oh, these look like they're straight out of the Oddity Compendium.
Also Slenderman.
I feel like, no, that's called YouTube drama channels. Slenderman.
Hey guys, Slenderman here.
Break out the ukuleles for this one, guys.
The off model, that's fun.
Yeah, off model's a good one. The Dripper Pines, off model variation. That one, if you read it, it's talking about the IP that you sometimes see when you're in like downtown Hollywood and stuff like that, where it's like, hey,
that's this not quite Aladdin.
Yep, exactly right.
Me.
Then you have the mirror dimension here, where everything is backwards. Bill was here. You have David Lynch, the Eye Stealer.
It is David Lynch.
Yeah,
I hadn't noticed that.
It's actually David Lynch, the famous director. The Reflexorcist. Toby Determined, which this is fun. One that I thought was fun. So Toby, one of the lesser appreciated characters from the town of Gravity Falls. He's always the guy who goes, oh, I'm a little bit nervous. He's got the big nose. He's the local press guy. In Weird Mageddon, he becomes, don't call me Toby, call me Bodacious T. He goes by Bodacious T at the end. So he's kind of one of the town oddballs. But I like that Toby Determined is considered to be a member of the mirror realm. Flip horizontal, dysmorphio.
Hey man, we all got a little dysmorphio.
Can relate. There's so many codes literally everywhere. Like here you got multiple number codes on this page. Between a mixed letter code here, you got the number code here. You have another letter code, another number code.
Yeah, I feel like an entire series of theories could be made just explaining all of this.
Which, speaking of, Ash, which pages do you recommend us going to? Like, do you know the solutions to any of these codes or things that are worth calling out?
So I know that a lot of folks over on the subreddit have been digesting these codes. I know there is a phone number somewhere in here that you can actually call.
Yeah.
It seems like an AI is the one who answers it for you. But it seems like there's been a lot of discourse about the early life page section.
Okay.
So I think that
David Letterman.
That general section might be worth taking a peruse through.
That's actually Larry King.
I'm sorry, I get my old talk show hosts.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say make sure you know your ancient talk show hosts. But basically, in the skin section, this is one other one I wanted to call out too. Is basically in the skin section where they're talking about like the human body is just a bunch of a sack of stuff, a sack of limbs. It says that in our stomachs there is chumbo. Right here, chumbo. When your stomach grumbles, that's chumbo.
Chumbo and smunt.
Chumbo and smunt. Great ones. I see the xylophone here. So this is one of the things that we're working on with Lorify. Spoilers to Lorify people.
I can't hear this.
No, you can't hear this. I see that code, or I see that scale, the free xylophone scale there, that musical scale.
Yeah.
One of the code, I don't know if this is the case. It doesn't look like it is. It looks like it's just
I mean,
a
it just
normal
looks like
scale.
a regular scale.
It looks like it, but it could also be a solfa cipher. So a solfa cipher is one that requires you to know like the key that the music's in, the tempo of the music, and then the letter progression through the music. Like, so how different notes have different letters. I see that, and I'm like, I wonder if that is some sort of musical code or it's spelling out something, right? We don't know if it's in like a treble clef or an alto clef or a bass clef, but the idea of solfa ciphers are actually really cool ways of hiding things in music, and I wouldn't put it past Alex Hirsch to have done that
for
there.
sure. That absolutely seems like a thing that would be up his alley, and like something I never considered.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, before we hop to the page that Ash wanted to go to, I did want to call this out. So on the skin page, they say that everyone kind of eventually evolves into Larry King because you get old and saggy and Larry King-esque, right? Bill encourages you to mark an X on your head and tell him to enter there. But that being said, he also says important lore bit that I discovered from reading through this word for word is, so in the lore of the show, Stanford gets a metal plate in his head to keep Bill out, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to reject, because Bill Cipher is the dream demon who can penetrate into your brain and especially affect your dreams, right? And so to fight that, Stanford gets the plate in his head. What you learn, at least according to Bill in this book, is that he didn't need to go that far. All he needed was a tinfoil hat. That the tinfoil
that's why
hats
people wear tinfoil hats?
actually work against him, which I think is really funny. But down at the bottom of the page, down in this learning is fun section, right down here, there's actually a secret.
It's cut off in the scan.
Yeah, it's cut off in the scan. It says, "Help, this is not Bill Cipher. My name is Grebly Hemberdrek of Zimtrex 5. I'm one of thousands of beings Bill has devoured over trillions of years, whose souls are now trapped inside of him. You have to free me. It's horrible in here." He keeps playing the song Good Vibrations by Marky Mark on an endless loop. Please.
Good vibration.
On repeat, no less. Please, this is, and then it cuts off from there. You can't really make out any more of the words there. But it starts to reinforce this idea that Bill Cipher is more than just this like godlike entity that's able to hop the multiverse and hop into people's brains, but that he is actually eating souls, right? Which is not anything that I had ever considered in the lore of Bill Cipher. But yeah, he is a soul eater in addition to everything else that he has the power to do, which is pretty wild.
That, and I mean, first of all, the sheer number of people inside of him. And I wonder if this is a case where like every time he consumes a soul, he gets it just that little bit more powerful.
Yeah.
And like after doing this for thousands, millions of years across the multiverse we now know exists in this universe.
Right.
Like, is that why he is so powerful?
Right.
That's fascinating.
And it's also one of those things too where in the lore that I've read out of this book, right, the reason he comes to Earth is because it's easy to conquer, easy to take over, it's kind of off people's radar. Yeah. And he had created this nightmare realm with his buds, but after a certain point in time, like the universe just starts to, it's entropy, right?
Yeah.
Entropy, as like energy dissipates, the universe itself starts to dissipate.
Apart.
It starts to fall apart, right? And so after trillions of years, like Bill Cipher's been around forever, after trillions of years, the universe, his nightmare realm starts to decay and lose hold, and so he and his buds need a new clubhouse to find, and that's why they come to Earth and try to take it over, Weirdmageddon and all that. In talking about the fallibility of the human body, he calls out the fact that we can't see ultraviolet light or extra turquoise, megagenta, insanitial, hyper beige, or brown 2.
The sequel to Brown.
I like Brown too.
That one also cracked up Holly.
Yeah. Look, it's an honor, bro.
Right?
Okay,
no, totally.
First of all,
right.
For my first note on this, one, I actually do think that is a fascinating like part of
human
light.
Biology. Yeah.
Light fascinates me.
Oh, light is wild.
I've many a time on GTLive and in our streams I've talked about how weird light is.
Yes.
But just like the idea that there's some light we just can't see. We are literally physically unable to see light.
Right, and that's
on those wavelengths. It's so strange and weird, and like suns still give it off. So cool.
Right, and that if your eyes were slightly differently attuned, you would see completely different things.
Yeah, a lot of the like famous NASA imagery you see of like these super colorful galaxies and nebula, that's them taking light on the spectrum that we can't see and shifting it to colors that we can see.
Yeah.
Which is why they are so like bright and colorful, and it also a little bit sad that if you actually looked at it, it would just be
it's like okay, that's cool and all. It's the same thing that really resonates with me about like smells too. Like you learn about like dog noses and how sensitive like a dog's nose is, and it's able to smell all these like millions of things that humans just like are not capable of processing. It's really fast. That's actually always been one of my personal fascinations outside of, theoristing and stuff like that. But that idea of like our perception is such a limited scope of what reality actually entails. Like, can you imagine someone else's perspective or another animal's perspective or like, all the different ways that you can look at life and how multivariable it is.
The classic is my red, your red.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love that.
And second thing I wanted to bring up is I feel like Alex Hirsch and I have very similar senses of humor in that like I also reference Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch's Good Vibrations.
Sure.
It is comically bad rap. I want to get mine, so get yours. I want to see sweat coming out your pores.
I love the fact that you know multiple lines from this song, actually.
That's great.
Is that a real line?
Yeah.
That's great.
Wow.
The other thing that I think is worth calling out, and one of those things that I discovered in my personal readings that I've gotten through so far, is it the back of the book, the book jacket, right, actually confirms my final theory, the one that you and I wrote together, which is not my final film theory, but one of the final film theories.
It was in contention to be the final one, and we the one that ended up, we just decided that would be better.
Penultimate one, right? The penultimate film theory that I did about how Alex Hirsch himself is possessed by Bill Cipher, that Alex Hirsch doesn't exist, and that he is yet another soul that is being consumed or being manipulated by Bill Cipher. And lo and behold, on the book jacket, the author section, it literally says, "Hi friends, I'm Alex Hirsch, creator of Gravity Town, and I'm definitely not possessed by a demon right now. I'm using my normal human hands to write a message in stupid human letters, commanding you to buy the Book of Bill immediately," etc., etc. And then hidden at the bottom, not really hidden, but it says, "He's help me, he's fine, I'm fine, help me." So very clearly, hey, theory confirmed.
Yeah, good job, team.
Proud of that.
Good job, team.
Well done. Got a theory here. Ash, you wanted me to flip to what page?
Oh gosh. It's hard because there's no page numbers.
I know.
Describe the page.
The section where they talk about early life of Billiam. You're in a good spot.
Okay.
You're in a good spot.
Is there anything did you want me to do anything specific with this?
So the problem is with this entire section, there is so much information, so much to take in.
Dude, same.
We're familiar with Have You Dreamed This Man now.
We have. That was
the creepypasta.
That was the creepypasta.
Or rather, it's an actual thing that happened. But.
It was the...
In Smile Tapes.
Smile Tapes, that was it. I'm like, it was one that we did relatively recent.
It was cross-referenced. But yeah, if you want to scroll up, go further. Yup, keep on going. Yeah, go down to Cypherstitions.
Cypherstitions?
Yeah, let's start here.
Okay. This set off history's first ever full-blown Bill panic. Russian mothers warned that Cypherashka would steal their dreams of the children who didn't finish their borscht. And there was a nursery rhyme in England that went, "Rockabye baby, snug in your bed, beware of Cipher invading your head. If you see Cipher, please scream and shout, and we will shake baby till Cipher comes out. Unknown bad mother."
Do not shake your child.
Yes,
that is very bad.
That is right, correct. King Henry VIII was so paranoid about me visiting the dreams of his wives that he started chopping off their heads just to kick me out of their brains. Hey, pal, maybe your wives would let me into their heads if you were a better conversationalist. Communication skills there, Henry. Even the Vikings, who I thought were supposed to be cool, started putting up runes warning everyone to throw Olaf overboard if he draws this shape. What the heck? Thanks for blowing my cover, Olaf. Those guys could have been my Norsemen of the apocalypse. It was beginning to look like all of Europe was awash, which was fine because I was getting bored of all their religious wars and silly hats. and needed another continent to invade. Just my luck. Atlantis was finally flourishing.
Yo, Atlantis, canonical, confirmed, and also apparently existed in like the 1100s, according to this.
To eject the rude triangle out of the mind, use the guillotine. That's what the French Revolution was. Before I could strike a deal with Emperor Glubach of Atlantis, he decided to start an undersea war with Lobster Lord of the Deep. Nice guy, but very political. I'd been banned from most of the Eastern Hemisphere by now through various curses. My only option was to return to the continent that had spurned me before, Wacky Land, where it was later renamed America.
The consequences of this to me are like, okay, first of all, Atlantis, real, existed like around the time of Henry VIII, I guess, which was like the 1500s. So like, did we just forget about Atlantis?
Maybe it was a memory wipe.
Yeah, like maybe there was a giant memory gun that got shot to Earth, and like Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Empire, is that memory starting to come back.
It's the truthers. It's like the truth needs to be heard. Atlantis was a thing.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
There's so many shorts I'm getting out of this.
Oh, that's the thing. Is like every 5 pages there's a ton to talk about and a ton to think. Witchcraft. Unfortunately, New England has a lot of the same problems as Old England, and it's these clowns. They called themselves the Puritans, and they had the least satisfied wives in human history. Mature stream, guys. These preachy wet blankets literally outlawed imagination, meaning they didn't even have dreams for me to invade. That's interesting. One of their many stupid laws was that a woman who stopped churning butter for 5 consecutive seconds or wore pants was called a witch and was thrown into a well, crushed under a boulder, burned at the stake, or lectured to death about her physical appearance by a guy wearing hat buckles. Look, you know how I feel about human suffering. It's funny. But variety is the spice of death. I decided to mix things up by offering a few of the accused housewives some real occult spells for a change. So basically, he was the reason why there was the witch panic. The Salem witch trials. I came to them in the form of a goat, the only life form whose pupils stay the same well possessed, and asked them one simple, irresistible question. The answer was a unanimous aye. Next time you're in Salem, keep an eye out for the relics of my handiwork. Wouldst thou like to live ridiculously? The answer is aye, apparently. I was recently in Salem. I didn't notice any samples of his witchcraft, sadly.
That's tragic.
I know. But again, you got more code over here.
That's a part of like American lore I really love.
Oh, it's a wild part of American
New
lore.
England, all East Coast kind of like magic and history, so fascinating.
Yeah.
And also, I love that goat, and I want to pet that goat. We should have, maybe it was in Ireland, we should have stopped.
Yeah, maybe when our bus went down the wrong path, we could have gone out and pet some of those sheep. And like, you got any goats? And he'd be like, a wee bit.
It's also one of those things, too, where, like, so the goat is actually a prominent member of, like, the Mystery Shack team in a lot of cases. Like, he's always hanging around the Mystery Shack. And we never get any sort of indication that he is possessed in any way or, you know, is an agent of evil or an agent of chaos. But I know that I've seen theories circulating that the goat has some deeper purpose or has some deeper meaning.
I mean, like, that obviously implies that, like, maybe this goat was just not necessarily Bill doing anything nefarious, but was like a camera, right? For Bill to just kind of check in and watch things occasionally.
Right.
I can't help but make the connection in my mind to like Baphomet and that sort of thing when it comes to like goats, possession, and some sort of like demonic undertone and influence. Yeah,
goats are often, for people who don't know, goats are often kind of symbols of occult practices. Lots of different depictions of Satan have had the goat head, and I think it's because of the freaky pupils, honestly.
Oh, sure. I mean, they're pretty unusual.
Scary.
They're very
square. Washington Monument.
Yeah, this is, so I wanted to call this one out. This is called the Linklops, the Lincoln Cyclops, the massive bellowing Cyclops that Lincoln rode into battle to win the Civil War. That was my ideal. Where's my monument? Poor Bill Cipher doesn't get his own monument. As you kind of go through and decode this thing, you will also have, like, very obviously up here, you got Cipher up there, -12. Like, there's numbers and symbols.
You know, the Washington Monument is sinking a little bit every year, so this implies that this skull, the Linklops, is also sinking. Tragic.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like a quarter inch a year, something. It's super small.
Yeah. Okay, so Ash, you wanted us in the origin story. Is there anything specific?
I was kind of excited for you to read. Yeah, this society.
The Anti-Cipher Society, Chapter
Yes.
1. Chapter 1 of several, concerning the author and his credible sanity.
Thurbert Mudget Whackstaff III.
His disposition is most pleasant. His education is St. Quiverly's Preparatory School for Fidgety, Fretful Boys in Scrimshaw, Connecticut. Hat size 7 7/8, 3/8, or 8 after a night of pondering. Ooh, his brain gets bigger.
Pondering on that orb.
Right. Doctor's note, after inspecting his teeth and haunches with my calipers, I declare the man sane, says Dr. Cornelius Q. Medicine. Very believable doctor name.
When lo, the church bells go silent and the paper boys cease their infernal braying, the modern gentleman weary from his toils is inclined to doze. It is then that they're fired from the mind, the phantasms of the wit, known as William Lucifer, makes his devilry known. I, Thurbert Mudget Whackstaff III, have a unique insight into the... oh, God.
Good one. You got it.
Phantasmagorical fiend.
Well done.
Nice.
For I have been visited by him on no fewer than 3 occasions, and thrice live to tell the tale, as I am aware. The reader may think me prone to superstition or in possession of an untrustworthy skull shape.
Phrenology is a crazy thing.
I shall
Heretofore.
heretofore. It was the T that was throwing me off. I shall heretofore debase your disabuse your skepticism from my extraordinary tale. I need new glasses, is what I just learned.
I like how comic he is. Also, I did not know that you had that voice in you, Lee.
Yeah,
Right? I love that.
Fun fact, I had originally had dreams of being a voice actor, and a lot of other people wanted it more than me.
Yeah.
And would work way harder.
And look, now you get to voice act every week on Film Theory.
I am excitedly waiting for one of the suggestions Tim gave me actually was like, hey, you should voice act a little bit for some of the characters when you do stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's a good idea.
Well, there you go.
I need to find an excuse to do it.
Well, I know you're reprising your role as Potato in an upcoming Game Theory.
True, I am very excited for that. I am the voice of Potato in all the Game Theories on Cooking Companion. So I love the idea that go back up a little bit, that the oh God, what do you call it? The little hand thing in the Ouija board?
Plantain. Shoot. What is the name of it?
The little triangle thing in a Ouija board. Name of the Ouija board triangle thing.
It's the planchette.
The planchette.
Close.
Planchette.
Well, fun fact. Planchette and planchette are actually 2 separate things.
Whoa.
One is a summon from Final Fantasy.
Okay.
The other...
Lots of that today.
It's strange how it's really working out today.
So, all that to say, this early life section kind of goes through where Bill plays in a bunch of different myth and lore and mythology, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But there's also been speculation about oh, is this ritual the reason why he is like this, or the cause of this specific thing that he does?
Yeah.
But because it is so dense, that's very hard to single out.
Yeah.
So, given where we are in this episode, I'm wondering if it's about high time to head over to the website.
The website?
Yes, we should go to the website. Okay.
The website is called This Is
Which
Not
actually,
a Website.
if you go down that one more page, right there, the puzzle at the top of the page you're currently on, the one with all the weird thing, that's actually the answer for the password for the website.
Is it now?
Yes.
How?
So here we'll have to
how
open
that
it up.
works?
Do a physical demonstration.
Yeah, we'll
Lee.
have to open it up to
There you go.
Here we go. It's
That's one more page, yeah.
All right, so look at it.
Oh, need a password? Fine, I'll talk, is what it says. Get out of here.
Yeah.
It's the name of the eyeball doc.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Because you couldn't really see it on camera. So what you do here is you look at this from a very sheer angle.
Yeah.
And all those weird lines and stuff turn into letters.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is so cool. And this is referencing, you may have noticed earlier in this book, there's just random pages from The Great Gatsby, the classic novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah, so at a certain point, what ends up happening in the book is you're talking to Bill about his powers. He also starts talking about his weaknesses. And because you're reading about his weaknesses, he thinks that you're spying on him to defeat him. And so he's like, no, stop it. This book is done. We're over. And then he sends you into The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, and I think they chose The Great Gatsby because it happened to enter the public domain. And
I was going to
the
say,
last couple of years.
Yeah, I think it helps that it's in the public domain for sure.
Classic book.
Yes.
If you haven't read it, and how did you not read it? It was like in every curriculum.
I was going to say everyone is required to read that book.
I actually think it's a very good book, and
they give you a solid like 5 pages of it, like full on straight up.
like straight up, and like.
Needless to say, Ollie told me to skip that section.
He doesn't like the green light at the end of the lake.
You know, he couldn't really relate to that constant yearning just yet in his life.
Not quite.
That dream that's just out of reach.
But
He'll get there.
He'll
get there.
Give him like another year or two.
Yeah.
He'll be there.
But the pages that this does
fast.
give us from Chapter 2 of The Great Gatsby
Yeah.
mentions an eye doctor named Dr. T.J. Eckelberg.
Really?
So if you go to the website, the password is T.J. Eckelberg.
Okay, and where's this website?
It is.
This is not a website.com.com.
Yeah. This is not a website.com. Or, well,
No, you have to
so
spell
like
it
DOTCOM. Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
Oh, I guess we don't need the password anymore. Yeah, so that people found there's a whole other discussion to be had about the ARG in this website, which we will get to at some point in a theory, I'm sure.
All right, so here in this section, there is a television, as you can see, and in the green rectangle, you can type things in.
Great. Anything you want me to type in?
So before, and unseen to the lovely audience, we were trying to think of a name of a character, and okay.
I typed in Dipper.
Okay.
Pine Tree, I'm so glad you found this message. Written in the book are secrets only you could comprehend, written in solar-powered ink. Train your eyes to see the ink, simply stare directly into the sun for 13 hours, no blinking. The only way, Dipper, if you start to smell your eyes burning, that means it's working. So clearly it is Bill Cipher pretending to be
Helpful.
Stanford and trying to be helpful when he's not, very clearly. Yes, Ash.
Yeah.
There was a character we were thinking of that we couldn't come up with a name with, but I want to see if it works. And that would be McGucket.
How do you, is it that?
Wait, you have 2 T's at the end?
Yes.
Try 1.
Just one.
Yes.
Huh.
Brilliant. In the eternal words of Kin, sublime.
Has there ever been a better middle school dance song made than Cotton Eye Joe by Rednecks?
Would you type in Rickroll or Rickrolled? I'm curious. I'm gonna have fun playing with it.
Try a
nothing.
space. Try a space.
Oh.
No.
Oh man.
Oh well.
One of the ones that I know does something at least is if I type in Dorito. Spooky.
Can't quite hear what it's saying.
No! I was jump scared. No! That was good.
That was excellent.
That was effective. That was a good one.
And one I know that does something is Weird.
Weird.
Weird Al.
How did I get inside this computer?
That's awesome.
How do I get out of here? Bill! Bill! Let me out! Bill!
Incredible.
Weird Al, also now apparently canon.
Yeah, canon to the Gravity Falls. I've seen him in concert before.
Was it good?
It was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
I believe that.
Like, he changes costumes every song. He plays little clips involving him from like other pop culture in between.
Great.
Yeah, a fantastic show. Do recommend.
Ollie is very into the works of Weird Al Yankovic right now. He's listening to Trapped in the Drive-Thru and a White and Nerdy on a regular basis.
Excellent.
At this point, only a creature of fine taste. I like to think. I know that this one does something, so we might as well throw it out there. We mentioned it before. Here we go. Hello, Internet. This time, you're on your own. Good luck. Wow. What a blow.
Oh, you are canon to Gravity Falls.
What a
Legitimately, how does that feel?
It's pretty cool.
That's really awesome.
It's very cool. Like when I got the DM from Alex Hirsch, I was like kind of freaking out a little bit.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's a really special one. I was bummed after we did St. Jude, where I didn't get a chance to really talk to him either before or after, because you're just on camera the entire time.
Especially you guys as hosts.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so guests get cycled on while Steph and I were just dealing with the production and everything that was going on. So I never got a chance to talk to him or thank him either like before or after coming on. So it was one of those things where him reaching out was just incredibly generous, and it was cool that, you know, we've been able to be a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, in some way. I also know that if you do this a couple times, it changes. Hello, Internet. This time, you're on your own.
And there's like a second version, right?
Oh, is there a second version?
Hello, Internet. This time, you're on your own. My delivery is on point.
I think you're on your own, guys.
Well, is that true?
Chad, are we on our own?
Well, I'll be here. Don't worry.
Hello, Internet. This time, you're on your own. Which also, the fact that it changes, depending on how many times you do it, tells me that you got to try every word like a lot of times. Like, have you tried weird?
No.
This time, you're on your own.
We could also show the original footage if we want.
Whoa.
While you pull that up, I think.
Yeah, I got you.
I think it's a good opportunity to say, like, we mentioned it a little bit at the top of the episode, but, like, we have heard you guys ask for us to cover this.
Yeah.
And we have really been diving into this. And the fact that Matt was, like, actually in the ARG made us, at least made me, a little, like, I don't want to step on any toes or ruin anything for Alex in any way. Thus, us kind of taking our sweet time on this. So, like, thank you. You guys have been heard, and we're so excited to jump into this now that this has been revealed.
Wait, they're not on their own? Are they on their own, or are they not on their own?
They're not on their own from me.
Oh, cool.
I'll be there for you. I'll
great.
help you out.
All right, this
This
is
is the one unseen by everyone.
oh man, this is unseen footage.
This is exclusive.
Exclusive footage. Here we go of me recording this. Look at that. Look at that.
6 of them?
Hello, Internet. This time, you're on your own. But hold on. If I'm here, then what does this mean for the lore? Am I part of this universe? Am I on this board? Am I canonically a character in Gravity Falls? Look at that camera work in the moment, Ash. I don't know.
Nice.
I need you. I
Nice
need you to
disappearance of
solve
Pikachu.
this for me. Solve it for me.
Dude, chill out. Like, I got this. Don't worry.
Please solve it for me.
We got this.
I need you, Lee. There it is.
All right, so that's
actually the secret retirement ending number 7.
Right. Right?
Yeah.
You got the true ending, the real ending, the insanity ending. Now you've got the Cipher ending.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
In the rap community, a cipher is like when a bunch of rappers get together and like rap, like to each have a verse in a rap.
That's
so
fun.
I'm imagining all of us very poorly rapping with the cipher ending.
Who knows? I could see
Santi probably pretty good at it.
I could see Santi spitting bars as they say.
And Tom. Watch Tom be just surprisingly good at it.
I can see Santi spitting bars.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Lee, I can see you
If I practice.
doing music. I think you could do a very good job with it. Amy, I think would do like screamo rock. And I could see Tom being there.
Booblaying it up.
Yeah, playing his lute bootleg.
Can I shout producer tags in the background?
Yes,
Yes,
please. That would be great. That would be awesome.
Technician.
You're working the soundboard, you're the DJ.
Exactly.
I like it. That's a win.
So second unhinged take, this is the one that you probably have seen.
Yeah.
Starts at around 1:30, and then I can show you the fun extras we did at the very end.
Ooh, fun extra.
Yes.
But what does it mean?
What does it mean?
Hello, Internet! This time, you're on your own. But, hold on, if I'm here, then does that canonically make me a character in the Gravity Falls universe? No, and I'm wearing yellow. Oh God, what is going on right now? Am I a part of the show? Should I be on this board? What is happening? Am I secretly a clue right now? I need you to solve this, please. Look me in my eye. Look me in my eye and tell me what is going on. Am I some sort of animated character right now? Also, my hands are green.
From the paint markers.
Use that as a clue. What does that mean?
I did see people trying to look at your bracelets
Oh, sure.
for clues in your bracelets.
I've thought about hiding clues on the bracelets. I have not done it yet, but at some point, there will probably be clues on a bracelet at some point.
Head over to 250.
That was beautiful. That was a great acting. I'm going to submit this.
Great frame.
Submit this for the Academy. Submit it for consideration campaign next year as I try to EGOT.
Ooh,
This will be my
EGOTs, because you got the streamy.
Right? Stoge.
The Stoge.
S-T-O-G-E. The Stoge. Yeah, that's
like
great.
Smunt has a Stoge.
Right? It's like, sure, Oprah Winfrey, you got yourself your EGOT, but have you stoged?
Have you stoged?
You know who's going to be the first to stoge? This guy. My retirement go. The stoge. You either retire the theory, man, or you live long enough to become the theory.
Well, it's factual.
That is factual.
One factual.
Top hat away from being a triangle. Bonus content. Zoom in. Excellent camera work from Ash again.
Thank you.
Yet again,
I love the bill up on Capitol Hill.
Oh, sure, right.
Thank you.
Right. We thought a nice shout out to like Schoolhouse Rock would be appropriate in that moment. Okay, so we cut briefly, just because we were playing around with stuff.
Yeah.
And we had to. There was like noise outside, and I was pulled away and stuff. So we're back, but you'll notice that the screen's a little bit different. I typed in Mabel, and I got stars on screen.
That's very cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
We also discovered a couple other things that were fun. Like I typed in Alex Hirsch, and it got us.
He is famous for wearing flannel, as any good Oregonian or
Oregano.
Oregonian?
An oregano.
As any good Pacific Northwesterner is wont to do.
I also tried triangle, and I got parentheses.
Nice.
That's it. What else did I try? I tried
Disney.
Disney. Yeah, I tried Disney.
Rat.gif censored for your protection.
Right, which is pretty great. I also typed in Mickey, which gives you the same thing, which I think is appropriate. What else? I tried
Seuss.
Seuss. Yeah, Seuss. If you do the characters definitely give you stuff, and you get a long one for this. Sup, dude? Seuss here, as I call myself now, Mr. Mystery, but I also call myself Seuss because that's still my name, dude. Okay, so first the Goss. Cat Strange is totally crushing on Woodpecker Guy. I ship it, dude. I ship it hard. Mabel wanted me to write about the Triangle Guy. Dog, homie is bad news. Never trust a bro and can climb inside your brain. And his book is sus, and to be frank, mid. Oh, the damningest praise of all.
It's mid.
It's mid.
It's not even good or bad. It's just mid.
Yeah, I looked inside and just saw glitches in the words. He's uncorruptible. What's that supposed to mean? At least holding the book made me look kind of smart, so 1 out of 5 stars, I guess. If you see Bill cover your head in tin foil, which we were talking about before, bring some ninja stars, and a bat in case he ever acquires human flesh, or in case you see a piñata. I do wonder if you type in piñata or uncorruptible, just as interesting words that were highlighted there. I did not try these. Hey.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
God damn it, why?
Yes!
Oh, my eye! What the heck?
That's awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. What were you gonna say, Lee?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm not sure there's anything better we could end that on, but
No, that is the best. Uncorruptible? Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. Piñata Bill getting whacked.
Ow, my eye!
That's awesome.
Incredible.
Give us one to end on, Ash.
To end on?
Yeah, give me one to end on.
Oh gosh, there's so many. Okay, let's do the big question. Does God exist?
Does God exist?
Does God exist?
Ha! Axolotl gives you ask a lot of questions. Love that. Does God as one word?
I have spaces here, but go crazy.
Okay. Yes! Ah, that's awesome. Oh,
This is a bop.
Right? This is a jam. Make this into a TikTok viral sound. Oh, that's awesome.
I think it's a definitive maybe.
Right? I mean,
Truly.
I'm left with no unanswered questions from watching that, to be honest. Oh. Interesting. Huh. So you can turn this. I wonder if this yields something. Like if you denoise this,
Yeah.
or...
I mean, I'm seeing kind of shapes in there.
Right, you can tell that there are shapes in here. It feels like there's definitely something there, for sure. Gold tooth. Oh, hey, lucky you! Get out a death-free card!
Oh,
Print out this screen and swallow it for one free resurrection. Thank goodness.
nice.
I could use a couple of those. Anyway, long story short, welcome to the Book of Bill and the ongoing online cipher that's going on to solve this thing, and kind of where it leads to. There's, as you can tell, there's a lot of Easter eggs. There's a lot of references. There is a lot of stuff to uncover, which again, to what you were talking about earlier, is one of the reasons why the video working on this is taking longer than normal.
One of our full-time writers, Brett, and I are working on it like pretty much nonstop. We're working on it. I promise it'll be soon. I don't want to give anything away. So,
but in the meantime, what I would say is like, hey, go and explore yourself. Right, this is ongoing.
Yeah.
When we were doing the channels, Gravity Falls kind of like ended by the time that I became aware of it, and so we were kind of late to the game in theorizing about the show as it was going on. It would have been really fun to have theorized about Stanford being the author of the journals and things like that as it was happening in real time, but we were just late to the game and had to do stuff in retrospect, right? But now, this is the time to do it, made by one of the creators who is best known for and has really pioneered this art form in a lot of ways.
And it's so cool to see the community. It's been a long time since I've seen a community so mobilized by trying to solve something like the Gravity Falls fandom is with this book, and that is incredible and awesome to see. You love it.
Yeah, so I would recommend, like, hey, like, let this be a jumping off point for you guys to start exploring the website, exploring the book. The book is fantastic.
Definitely worth the $20, I would say.
Yes, and just engage. You know, obviously one of the hubs of this sort of stuff is happening on the Gravity Falls subreddit. Also our subreddit, like there are documents that are accumulating everything that people have found so far. Like, this is ongoing, this is awesome, and it's a lot of fun. So if you've ever been into online puzzle solving or any of the theorizing that we tend to do here on the channels, this is a chance to like do it with a huge community of people who are eagerly engaging with it in real time. So that's that. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go censor a bunch of pages for Ollie because it's getting close to bedtime for him. So we'll see what existential dread I instill into his brain tonight based off of this kid's IP that is now matured beyond belief. Lee, thank you for joining me on the couch today.
Thank you for having me once again.
Ash, thank you as always.
Of course, thank you.
And most importantly of all, thank you guys for being here. Go forth, solve the puzzle, and as always, remember, it wasn't a live stream, but it was a video for you. See ya!
Shake my hand.
Ooh. You're mine now. No! You were Bill Cipher all along. I should have noticed the elongated pupils.